Hey ELA family, we are getting ready to pick up where we left off last week on our ELA 10A villain essay. So, I picked the wrong one. You guys know I always do this. Let me move myself out of here so we can focus on the shared document that we have been working on. So, we have this shared document. There we go. And we had printed off our prompt from Edgenuity last week, and we know we're writing a descriptive essay, and a descriptive essay uses very specific word choices to help paint a picture of a character. So we're going to compose an essay that describes a villainous character in contrast to a heroic figure. We're going to use precise words and phrases revealing details and sensory language to convey a vivid picture of the villainous character. That would be the section of word choice when we talk about the 6 traits. We'll establish a clear, distinctive, and coherent thesis or perspective and maintain a consistent tone and focus throughout the essay. That, of course, discusses a few of the 6 traits also: our organization, our tone, our voice, and having a coherent thesis. And then down below here, we'll use the 6 traits, evaluate and revise your essay with particular attention to the ideas of content, voice, and word choice. So we had been brainstorming, and I said one I always get is the Dark Knight and the Joker, which is a good one. I often get some Voldemort and Harry Potter. Maybe I get some President Snow and Katniss, the Hobbit versus Sauron, a detective versus a killer. That might be like a specific, oh gosh, come on, I know the word for this show. We all watch this show. Law and Order, like Special Victims Unit, or like Law and Order, the really specific case ones. CSI, Crime Scene Investigation, that's the one I'm looking for. I knew it would come to me. Main character, we could talk about a main character maybe versus an evil within them, like an addiction, so something like that. So we had started, I wanted to talk a little bit about Voldemort and Harry Potter because they are characters that I'm just very familiar with. I know one that I could add in here because I can't even believe Luke Skywalker, come on, who wouldn't want to have Luke Skywalker? And Darth Vader. Of course, you could get into any of the Star Wars realms here. We could do some Gideon Moff and Mandalorian even. Moff. Is it Moff? Yeah, I think it's Moff. And the Mandalorian. So, we had decided to start pre-writing about Voldemort. I just gave a quick description of what the characters look like and some of the actions that they do. Voldemort, we know he doesn't have a nose. He's very reptilian and snake-like. He has a snake as a pet. He's very slippery, slimy, moldy, and damp. His skin is green and gray. He's very inhuman. He's power-hungry. He's a murderer and a child murderer. He's experienced at it, was the other thing. And he'd actually split his soul. So I would say he's soulless, but he had a split soul, a damaged soul for sure. So that's a little bit extra. And Harry Potter, of course, is this brave, clean-cut, happy, optimistic, wants to save the world. He's juvenile, he's young. I would say he's very idealistic, which is one of the things he ends up having to battle in his own life, specifically around book 5. So we are going now to try and write a thesis about how we can compare and contrast these 2 particular characters. And I might start with the world is full of dark and light energy. That dark and lightness, this good versus bad, devil versus God, all of these kinds of ideas. It's a very universal theme of this dark versus light, and we have to make a choice if we're going to, fight for the dark side of the world or the light side of the world. So I'll say the world is full of dark and light energy. Certain characters are born wanting to be in the light and do good deeds. Some characters however, and of course that however sets up our contrast to the sentence that we have just said, some characters, however, never seem to be able to come out of the shadowy, dark underworld in which they thrive. Okay? Two characters that fit this description would be Harry Potter, not Harry Pottery, Harry Potter and Lord, actually, and here's something this is just nitpicky, would be Voldemort and Harry Potter. Why did I choose to reverse those? Because I wanted to lead with Voldemort, okay? Part of the reason why is because this essay is about the villain, so I'm going to lead with him. So that's why I adjusted that. So it's a very nitpicky thing. It's not something that would make you pass or fail or get you, a ton of extra points. That's like a nitpicky authory thing. And you start to do these kinds of things when you're a writer. You just have a certain way you like things to be done. So we've gotten that far, and let's talk about our thesis now, because I've given a little bit of background and information. Sometimes we've used quotes in the past. I could have pulled a quote out of the book and explained the quote and then talked about how it relates to the two characters. In this particular case, I just made a statement and I let it lead me into the rest of my writing. So we want to go back up and we'll look at, we're composing an essay that describes a character in contrast to a heroic figure. So it doesn't give us a ton of specific language we have to use in our thesis. So I would say Voldemort is one of the most famous villains of all time, and his actions, and his devious actions as related to the righteous moves, that would be another word for action, as related to the righteous moves of Harry Potter, deserve to be examined in more detail. Let me just do something here to help us I don't like to have my paragraph split like that. Okay. So we've really just drafted a rough paragraph. And this is something that we can, adjust a little bit later. And so here we go. The world is full of dark and light energy. There's one sentence. Certain characters are born wanting to be in the light and do good deeds. That's two sentences. Some characters, however, never seem to come out of the shadowy, dark underworld in which they thrive. There's three sentences. Two characters that fit this description would be Voldemort and Harry Potter. There's a fourth. And now our fifth sentence is our thesis. Voldemort is one of the most famous villains of all time, and his devious actions as related to the righteous moves of Harry Potter deserve to be examined in more detail. So in this case, I don't even really need to add a transition sentence into my next paragraph because I've included it as part of my thesis. So I think that's going to be a good place to stop today. See if I can find myself again. That'll be a good place for us to stop today, and we'll pick up next week where we left off, and we will start to write our second paragraph and talk about some of these actions. So stay warm, stay safe, and do your best. We'll talk to you soon. Bye.